This week on the podcast, it's just us boys. I have been addicted to a mobile game and I just have to tell you all about it. There's been a Steam store update and NVidia is charging how much for the 4000 series cards? All of that and more in this week's episode of the podcast. Roll the intro. Oh, see, I was dancing to your scatting. I was really feeling the vibe there that you're throwing down.
I'm glad.
Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I'm your host, Danie K. With me, I think now I can say 99.9% of the time, it's the wonderful, the beautiful, the Mr. Green Elite Green. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
You
I can't complain.
Settling into Phoenix just fine?
Yeah, it's hot. I'm always thirsty. I get to jump in a pool every day, which is nice. So, but a little downsize never hurt nobody.
Yeah. You know what else is hot?
Mm-hmm.
The Spooky and the Ookly, the Mendacii. Mendacii, how are you doing today?
Oh, we're good. We're thriving, but barely. It's like a slug that's had like a pinch of salt thrown at him. Like, I'm melting, but I'm gonna keep going because, god damn it, I'm gonna make it off of this sidewalk before I fry.
Get off that sidewalk before you fry. That is, I think, a vibe that we all can understand. That's a vibe we can all understand. Anyways, thanks for watching and listening to the show. If you miss any part of the show, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. If you guys like the show, make sure you subscribe. That helps us out a lot. If you want to join us live, you can do that on Twitch every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. If you want to be a part of the show, we have a question of the week. This week, our question is, what's your main secret ingredient when you cook? What's your main secret ingredient when you cook? Let us know in the comments or in the live chat, of course, if you are joining us live. And you can always tweet at us. Hit him with that Twitter
at Next Nothing PC.
And while your mic is turned on, what's your secret ingredient?
Honestly, I would probably have to say cumin. Cumin makes everything good. But if I'm making like, let's say, anything that has like a batter or like I'm frying something like a tenderloins or chicken strips or something like that, Ritz crackers, like crumbled Ritz crackers, makes everything delicious.
Okay. Mendacii, what's your secret ingredient?
Garlic, baby. It's all about the garlic. Garlic in anything savory that I absolutely can, even if it's supposed to just be like a touch sweet, something like say like a sweet curry, and it's gonna be filled with garlic, man. Otherwise, just a squeeze, of lemon juice.
Okay. Interesting. I was going to say garlic, but you stole it because I do love me some garlic.
Dude, you can't go wrong. You
can't go wrong with garlic. No, if a recipe calls for garlic, go on ahead and double it.
Exactly.
But my other secret ingredient is soy sauce. If you're making like, first off, soy sauce with if you're making any sort of stir fry, okay, always gotta have it. Always gotta have it in there. But like if you're making a say like a meatloaf, some soy sauce in that glaze, you do like the brown sugar, some tomato paste, throw a little soy sauce in there. Primo, works out real well in your favor. If you're making like apparently this is what I have seen on the Reddits is that soy sauce is what makes the tuna salad at Jimmy John's tasty. So, yes, that is my secret ingredient as well. But let us know your secret ingredient in the comments on YouTube, or you can tweet at us at NTNPod. Is there anything else that we wanted to mention at the top of the show, or do we just want to get right into the reviews? Or the review I have?
I have one thing.
Yeah.
one of the greatest games in the world that you could ever play, either solo or with friends, is on sale until the 6th. It's Vermintide 2. Just go get it.
Yeah.
It's so good. So many hours of just beautiful, delicious gameplay. Um, it's great. I mean, this is a gaming podcast about staying on budget, so why not go snag it? And oh, hey, we're Humble Bundle affiliates. You could go and get it also on sale on Humble Bundle for $23.99 if you use our affiliate dealio. It is a little bit cheaper on Steam though. It's like 80% off. So like you could get it for like dumb cheap.
Hell yeah. Excuse me. Had a little frog in my throat there for a second. So, like I said, I've been addicted to a mobile game. And it's not very often that a game like this just kind of grabs me by the balls. But this one did. And I think part of the reason this game has grabbed me the way it was is that recently, and I think I've mentioned this before, I felt I've been in a bit of a gaming rut. Haven't been incredibly satisfied with the games I've been gravitating to and not really enjoying sitting at the PC for too long. So I took a few moments and started looking at the App Store on my phone and came across Survivor.io. I will say that there is like multiple games, or at least another game that is called Survivor.io. This is like the Survivor !.io. And I have been really pleasantly surprised so far with this game. The game is free on iOS, Android, and you can play it on Facebook. It's developed by Happy PTE, who I've never heard of before, but apparently they have a couple different mobile games on offer. So what is this game? Right? Very simply put, the game is Vampire Survivors free to play, the mobile game. If you recall back to, I don't know, was that back in like May, Mendacii, when you played Vampire Survivors?
It was like literally maybe a week or two after it launched because Green has his finger on the fucking pulse and threw that at me before, the entire world got vampire hungry.
Yeah. So yeah, if you recall our conversation about Vampire Survivors, this is going to feel very familiar to you because the gameplay loop is exactly the same. You load into a map and you are immediately set upon by a horde of zombies, and you must destroy them with a set of abilities to collect XP, to level up, and gain new and improve your upon your abilities. There are a variety of zombies. You have like your standard zombie, construction worker zombie dogs, zombie businessmen, or just businessmen, really. I mean, there's not much difference, anyways.
And what's the difference?
Yeah.
Zombie soldiers and weird mutant bugs, and I'm sure there's plenty more that I haven't actually seen yet. There are mini bosses that will spawn on the map that once you destroy them, they drop essentially a slot machine that will upgrade your skills randomly. Um, there are big bosses which come at predefined time intervals that fight you one-on-one. The game lasts for a certain amount of time, so you're not set in an infinite run, at least not in any of the modes that I've played. So Mendacii, based on that basic description of the gameplay, pretty much Vampire Survivors, right?
Yeah, more or less. Like, are you at some point gonna go so hard that your phone is just gonna like lock up and shut off?
Oh, in terms of like how much shit is on the screen?
Yeah, like how much shit you can do and like obviously how many things are moving towards you.
Yeah, it basically at certain points on certain maps, the uh the game just kind of becomes a little unplayable, to be quite honest. Like you can't
Right.
really tell what's happening. Um
Yeah.
the game does give a little bit of haptic feedback for when you get hit, so you can tell when you get hit. The control
It's
is
good.
just your thumb, so you're just moving your character with a virtual joystick. Um, so nothing too like intense there controls wise. But yeah, I mean you get a lot of stuff on the screen, and shows numbers for damage, which I think is kind of overkill.
Yeah, you don't need that at all.
Where it's like, oh yeah, I can see that I'm doing like such and such damage, but at a certain point, there's just so many fucking numbers on the screen that it's like, I could do without this. I
Yeah.
could I could play this game just fine without knowing how much damage I'm doing to each individual zombie. At least in my opinion. Basically, I just want
Yeah.
to know if I'm killing the zombie or not.
Right. I feel like it would perform a hell of a lot better too if it didn't have to like, have the information pop up on screen, didn't have to render the characters popping up and everything.
Yeah.
Like that's I mean, like I guess we're seeing it a little bit in the gameplay that you're sharing with us, but like it does go down to like a solid 10 frames per second every once in a while. But yeah, the aesthetic is very much so basically 100% Vampire Survivors. We've got a timer going up for how long you've survived
Yep.
and coins, and every once in a while you get some loot on the ground.
Yep. Um yeah, and then so as you play, you gain gems and gold, which are used to get gear and upgrade. You have 6 gear slots, one of which is your primary slash starter ability. I personally use the kunai. I just like the way that one works. It's very simple and most direct. There's other weapons like shotguns, melee weapons, and pistols. Um, the other slots are clothing gear, which provides different buffs and abilities in terms of like providing armor, more health, or providing more attack power. And then some of them also have abilities that are like uh, have a ring of radiation around you that deals damage, um,
My
or
fave.
recover a certain amount of health that for every like 200 zombies killed. Um, gain a speed boost when your health is like below, like stuff like that. Pretty, simple. And so, um, the game does have a bit of a robust system around it where you can build a set around the way that you like to play and like the combos that you've been finding works. Um, you can also improve upon your gear with gold and slot specific like blueprints that you get from just playing the game and opening stuff. All of the items have a rarity system of gray, green, blue, and purple. And then you can combine 3 of alike items of the same rarity to boost them to the next rarity. So if you get like 3 gray kunai, you can boost them up to what I say, green. So then you can boost them up to blue. Um, so definitely a part of the gameplay is upgrading your gear to improve your chances of clearing a stage. Um, and then you can also evolve your like base stats with gold in the evolve menu. So that's literally just like spend 10k gold to upgrade like your base health. Um, there are these supply crates that you can unlock, which have a variety of gear inside of them. Basically, just the loot crates. They do affect your stats. They do affect the way that you play and the way that you can play, and you can pay for them. But we'll talk a bit more about the monetization here in just a little bit. Personally, I felt the game is fair, even though this is a free to play game that does have like the whole monetization scheme that you would probably expect of it. It is relatively generous with its resources. Each match, if you die, you can watch an ad to get an additional life, which is kind of lame, but it's whatever. Um, you can watch ads to get gems. You can watch ads to open up crates if you don't have gems, at least the base crate. The game gives you a lot of gems simply by playing. It has a daily login bonus. It gives you gems for clearing levels, for leveling up. Yeah, I haven't casually playing. I've gotten to like the 5th map so far, and I haven't really felt the urge to buy into the game yet. and there are 50 levels, so that might change. Like the further you get along, that might change. It might really start bilking you as you get further on. But to be quite honest, I'll probably get bored before that even happens. I'll probably be bored long before that I even get close to that, because the gameplay, while it's fun, I don't see myself making this like a month, a month's long commitment. Like I said, there are different packs. You can buy gems and stuff like that at different rates. Just going off the gem store. For $1 you can get 80, which is one basic chest, which I think is a little lame. Or you can get for $100 14,000 gems, which can buy 5 of the biggest chests available in the store.
Jesus.
Yeah, which I don't think is. Again, I don't think that rate really works out.
No, that's, and it's basically gambling again with loot boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would not buy into this game personally, and it's got enough ads. They've monetized with ads. That's fine. I wouldn't pay into this game really unless you are so impressed with it that you want to give them money. But I don't feel that way. I have a hard time imagining people would feel that way. But I do like the game, and I think I have specific reasons for why I do like this game. And it really comes down to that the reason I like this game so much is because it's simple, fun, that offers a pretty basic challenge that is just enough choice in it to keep me engaged. Like it's not a clicker. It is somewhere above a clicker, but it's not quite like, a full, like, it's not like a blow me away kind of game. It's just right above an idle clicker that can just kind of keep my mind busy. It's really good for like a lunch break. If you're a commuter where, like, you're taking train or bus. I find myself playing it the most sitting in bed or on the couch with the TV on. It's a little bit more than like a toilet game because like how long the rounds are supposed to go. Like the first stage, you beat it at 15 minutes. But if you had the like burrito grande for lunch, it'll probably get you through that struggle,
Yeah.
This game is like, if I had to like say like who this game is for the player who needs a decent time waster on their phone that isn't Twitter or Facebook. It's low pressure, it's accessible. The person I can recommend this game to, that's really the person I can recommend this game to. Is that person who needs a time waster, who needs something that'll keep their hands busy, someone who needs something to do on their phone if they're in the living room and the TV is being used by somebody, your girlfriend, kids, or whoever. That's really the person that I think would probably gravitate towards this game. But I really want to know what you guys think of it. If you've played this game, let me know what you think of it in the comments. Or you can also tweet at us. But Mendacii, Green, what do you guys think? Do you have any thoughts, opinions that you want to share?
You first, Green.
Not really. It's definitely interesting. It looks like it's something that you can waste a little bit of time on. I don't think there should be like a massive like career path for a game like this because it is a mobile game. Some people get like really into different mobile games, but this just doesn't seem like one of those ones where you like spend hours upon hours upon hours on, like a Candy Crush or Dragonstone or whatever. And like this is just a quick and simple. Let's see how long we survive. So I don't think this game should try to be more than what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be a little bit more ambitious than what it is, but that's fine. I would actually rather it be a little over ambitious than under ambitious.
Yeah.
Mendacii, what do you think?
I'm right there with you, man. Better to be under ambitious than over ambitious, and I think that that's
You
why
mean the
Vampire
other way around?
Survivors. Yeah, sorry. And I think that's kind of why Vampire Survivors has succeeded so much. But the thing is that like where Ponkel, the developer, the single man behind this, like where Ponkel has gotten it now, it's basically like almost unrecognizable with the amount of content and everything in there. The game launched for $2.99. It's $4.99 now, which he also like reached out and told everybody like, "Hey, in 1 month my game is going to go up $2." And it's insane. Like it has a final boss, like there's challenge modes, all that stuff. But the biggest thing is that like it has spawned now what they're calling vampire survivors like as a genre, which I like the idea of calling it a reverse shmup. You know, shmups like Raiden, Darius, things of that nature. Um, yeah, I don't know. With this one, it's whelming to underwhelming. It's somewhere in between. Though I'm not entirely certain how well like you can really kind of like copy Vampire Survivors, and I feel like they're doing probably pretty close to the best that they can, given like the tech of our cell phones. There's a reason why Vampire Survivors is not available on your cell phone. You could go to his like site and play it essentially in like a browser on Opera or Chrome or whatever on your phone or your tablet, but like obviously that's not you know strictly how it was meant to be played. The thing that I'm trying to get at here is that a lot of people are copying this game. There are some that are good, there are some that are bad, and then there are some that are mid. And to me, kind of looks like Survivor IO is mid.
Yeah. And I think the fact that it is so mid that it just hits it's a weird sweet spot. Like that's just kind of the way I feel about it. It's a very weird like place to be that it's just where it needs to be, which I kind of like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like fast food. It's like fast food.
Oh yeah, yeah. Satisfy you now. It's now, but like later you're gonna feel empty, unsatisfied, maybe grumbly even.
Oh, I was gonna say, are we gonna start singing the replacements here?
Oh, we could. We could.
uh, any other thoughts, opinions, questions on Survivor IO?
Nah, I'm
Are
good.
It
Nor.
is it is what it is. I'll probably keep playing it until I don't, and then we'll probably forget about it and remove it from my phone after 6 months of it not being launched.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about the Steam Store update?
Hell yeah.
yes.
So, Steam has removed the top 100 page, which showed the most popular games by concurrent player count, and has replaced it with something a little bit more sophisticated and nuanced to help you find your games. The page is called Steam Charts, which is not to be confused by a third party website of the same name. And it will show you top selling games, most played games, weekly top sellers, and monthly top sellers. In the top selling and most played games sections, the chart will be a top 100 games for the respective categories on the platform. The top selling chart, much like the Billboard Top 100, will also show you the rankings for a game and how many places it's moved up or down over the course of a week. The top sellers chart will be based on all revenue the title has earned through the platform, which means that free to play games that have microtransaction stores will also appear next to full priced games. Um, anything there that needs clarified? Because I know I just kind of had like word salad a little bit.
That's kind of what it is, though.
Yeah, it is a little bit of word salad, but are you guys feeling comfortable? Are we feeling good between us three here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, if anyone is like confused or needs clarification, let us know in the comments or tweet at us. We can help you guys out with that.
We quick, we loud. We like to talk at people.
Yeah. With the update will also come an archive so you can track games as time goes on, which could be helpful if you're looking to jump into a new title. Maybe you've sat on a title for a little bit, you kind of want to see where it's at, sales wise and player wise. Um, so that could help you make that purchasing decision. The most played games will also have a daily players setting, which will determine the total number of unique players a game has for a 24-hour period. Which I think could be helpful for someone who's like European or Australian. You can kind of determine a game, would it be right for you, instead of guessing if people actually play in your time zone, because that happens, right? Like some games are just really, meant or really just marketed and really take hold in like Europe. And if you're an Australian gamer, those games aren't really for you because you're not going to play at a time where other people are on, you know?
Yeah.
All right, that just happens. That's just the nature of the beast sometimes. So I really do think that daily players setting will really help people kind of determine if a game's community is on when they're on, which would be nice. Um, I think overall, this should be a better way to help you determine if a game is right for you. I think this and then the current rating system that they have with where you can check and see what the most recent ratings are for a game are excellent ways to determine if a game is a good investment for you or not. But I have a follow-up question that I'll ask after we get your guys' opinions. We started with Mendacii last time. Green, what do you think?
Um, I know that Steam just did like a change not too long ago with their policy with like adding stuff. So I like that they're like changing things or trying to freshen it up. I don't know how much I would like them taking away a top 100 list. Because it kind of like it it can take away from like games that are in the now right now. However, like, did I ever look at the top 100 list? No. So that like I can't say that this change actually genuinely affects me. Um, but it is interesting that Steam is actually trying to change things up and make things either make things look fresher or try to liven things up, because like Steam has looked like the same thing for years, literal years of the same exact monotone look. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, that's my opinion.
There's also a lot of like features in Steam that also just don't really people use. There's a lot of features in Steam that people don't really use. So it's nice that they are looking at maybe some of these ones that aren't really useful for average customers and are
Like the trading card thing.
yeah. Yeah. Uh
It's basically NFTs, but without the extra steps.
yeah,
Yep.
and more difficult to get rid of.
Yeah.
They're
um
always gonna be there, buddy.
yeah. Mendacii, what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm with green, and I also like I wanna kind of like poke at the silver lining here. So when an indie developer makes like a phenomenal, sick ass, super cool game, like think like Vampire Survivor, right? Ponkel's game would have been like bam, right the fuck up there, like for a good solid couple months. And then every time that you would see updates hit a certain game to see it shoot back up, I think that that's another big reason why this is good. When, like think about Hello Games and No Man's Sky. Like obviously Like that game sucked ass when it came out, but then when they, just like put their heads down and quietly worked on it and they brought us something that was absolutely phenomenal and like it had this sort of renaissance. I think that when you see a game shoot up, there's usually the immediate question of, "Huh, I wonder why that is." And then most people would instinctively want to go and check that out. And then being able to again use something that's previously been there that you had brought up with the recent reviews, it just helps people figure out if a game is for them, and it also gets more eyes on more games. I do think, however, that this can backfire if you're looking at games that are like COD or, like FIFA. If people like really do still play those as often as I feel like they do, those games are going to be up in the top 100, and probably close to like the top 10 or 20. So there's still going to be some shit to filter through, but you can get through a list of 100 games on Steam pretty fast. The other thing that I think is really sick is like seeing most played and having the daily players numbers sitting there because one, I'm a curious bitch and I want to see if a game is dying, like say Anthem or anything like that. I'm always curious about those kinds of numbers. Dauntless, I want to see a game on the decline. But like you said, as far as time zones go, that's super awesome. If you're really into fighting games, but you feel like when you normally sit down to play fighting games, you run into the same people over and over, and maybe that's just where you are skill wise, but you can have a bigger pond to swim in if you're looking at the times in which that game is most busy. And if you're having a hard time getting into matches and like say any team battle game or anything like that, look at when it's most busy, and then your queues should, in theory, be faster. Or if you're an MMO player, you want shorter queues and logging in. You can easily see that without having to use like third party sites. I just see a lot of benefits to this. And while, yeah, there's some drawback, I think that it could be absolutely huge for consumers that use Steam.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of like looking at like the concurrent, like the top played right now,
Hmm.
and I just saw something very interesting. Are you guys familiar
Ooh,
with the game Unturned?
yeah. What?
It's
Where is
a
it?
it's at 11,
What?
but you want to know how many people are currently watching it on Twitch?
How many?
16. And I'm
That's so
fairly,
fucking weird.
yeah, and at least one of the channels is not streaming the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
um
so weird.
yeah, isn't it? It's interesting. I think people will find a lot of interesting information from this list, from
Yeah, I
this
mean,
stuff.
even if you're just curious and like you're not trying to like figure out something, as deep as when can I play with more people, I think that it's just one of those things where you could probably waste a couple hours and like see like, oh, people are playing Condemned, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like Condemned still got shooters out here.
Yeah. Well, and it might also just kind of change your perspective on if a game is dead or not, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that many people who play on Unturned. I have
Yeah,
tried
no.
Unturned out. I have never played. I've never like had a server or tried to play with anybody.
Yeah.
My assumption was that the game was kind of culty and didn't have that many people. But if it's sitting at 11, most of the top play being currently top played on Steam, that kind of changes my perspective on it, especially when there's at number 45 Gundam Evolution, which is a brand new game for a franchise that will, first off, we're talking about Gundam Evolution soon. Don't worry, wink
Yeah.
wink. Make sure you subscribe. Um, but that's a brand new game, or at least a game that's new to PC for an incredibly beloved and influential franchise, right? So that's just kind of interesting stuff there. But the thing I wanted to mention and kind of do another question out there. First off, of course, let us know your thoughts on this new page, but I also want to know what other tools are you using to check out games on PC. I personally use Steam DB. It also tracks pricing over time, so I can see concurrent players. I can see what the current price of the game is, what it usually goes for, when the last time it was on sale, the lowest price it's been, stuff like that. And that's just an extension in Chrome that you can get, which is excellent. I always recommend just adding Steam DB to your extension. So if you guys have other tools that you use when checking out and shopping around for PC games, let us know in the comments. Share the knowledge with your friends.
Mm.
Anything else on this particular topic?
Man, it's just wild looking at like the top sellers list as well. Just like on the Steam powered Steam charts, like Hearts of Iron 4.
Yeah.
People really do be digging playing the super realistic Risk.
Yeah.
Like that's number 1.
Yeah. It's weird.
I like it though. Like I said,
Wow.
I'm the
Wow.
curious guy. Most played, Counter-Strike Go, of course, but then Dota 2. Lost Ark
doesn't
beating out
surprise me.
Apex. Yeah, and Lost Ark beating out Apex.
I think, to be fair, Lost Ark started on Steam, and I think there is a bigger audience for MMOs like that
Mm-hmm.
than there are for battle royales, especially right now.
Yeah, for sure.
People
I,
love
I
MMOs.
I think it's fun seeing that Cyberpunk is getting this massive renaissance after everyone watched Edge Runners.
Well, and it has new DLC.
Yeah, and apparently the cops still bug out here and there.
Yeah. Green.
Yeah.
It looks like you have a brand new corner there.
I do have a brand new corner. It's weird. I hate it. I love it.
Is it a tech corner?
It might be a tech corner.
Green's Tech Corner.
Is there an audio?
Yeah, there
Did I
is.
hit an audio? Oh,
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, NVIDIA.
NVidia.
We'll talk about NVIDIA.
Let's talk about NVIDIA.
Has been rumored for some time, and we know, and we knew it was going to eventually happen. So no big surprise but that last week, NVIDIA announced their new 4K series cards. Sorry, I'm getting a little jumbly there.
It's okay. He's reading my script.
I'm reading his script. It's
You're-
weird. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel right. And you'll be surprised. Not a lot of people are happy. I'm gonna try to read it like Danie.
Do
But
your
before
best
we get
Danie
into
impression.
why people may not be happy, let's talk about the cards themselves and what is coming with them.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
You're good. The cards will be using NVIDIA's shiny and new Ada Lovelace architecture, which has features we'll talk about in just a moment. The RTX 4090, which includes 24 gigs of GDDR6X memory and is allegedly 4 times faster than the RTX 3090 Ti. The RTX 4080, which will be including 2 different variant configurations, a 12 gig and a 16 gig version, and will be allegedly 2 to 4 times faster than the 3080 Ti. The Ada architecture will feature 3rd gen RTX, which will come with real-time path tracing, as well as DLSS 3. So with that, why are people mad? Well, these cards are not going to be cheap. The 4090 is going to cost $1,600 while the 12 gig version of the 4080 is going to cost $900, and the 16 gig version will cost you a whopping $1,200. Comparatively, at launch, the 3090 was $1,500, and the 3080 12 gig version was only $800. I say that lightly, only $800.
Right.
You know, that's a lot of fucking money.
That's
There was also no 60 or 70 edition cards announced.
Wow.
Yeah.
which those will probably come later.
They will. They always announce the flagships first, which is the 80 and the 90.
I feel like with
The big and the bad.
Yeah, I feel like with the 3000 series though, they announced the 70 with the 80 and the 90. Am I misremembering that? I might be misremembering it.
I think the 30 series that no, I don't remember. I think they only announced the 90 and the 80. And then they announced the 70 and then the 60 and the 50. And then they started the whole TI lineup months after that. So
Okay. Cause yeah, I feel like the 70 was announced, but I'm probably wrong. I don't. This isn't my
yeah,
space to that I claim to be any sort of expert in.
which I like. I don't know why they wouldn't announce the 70 because that is supposed to be like their main bread and butter. Like the
Yeah,
70 is like their middle of the road, higher performance to cost. Like that is the card that they want to push the most,
yeah,
right? And then like the budget ones, the 60s and the 50s. So I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know why they wouldn't. But I'm
I
not the marketing guy behind this the NVidia curtain.
yeah. Um. Anyways, continue.
Uh, there's also critiques, notably with Tom's hardware, that the 4080 might really be a 4070 in disguise when compared to its big brother specs. Danny, stop moving the notes.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
You keep highlighting things. It's throwing off my eyes.
My bad. Sorry.
The pricing increase also comes at a time when inflation, especially in Europe, is skyrocketing. And while GPUs for some are a luxury, for others, including editors, designers, CAD, and others, they are necessary.
Yeah, which I only included the American prices, but I'm fairly certain the prices in Europe and in the UK um are actually more expensive.
Which doesn't surprise me because
No.
Sony just increased the price of the PlayStation 5 in those countries. So
Yeah. So in with the way that inflation is there in Europe right now, it does not surprise me that Europeans would be pretty pissed about another price increase for cards.
and they have to really show that there is a big jump in performance to justify this price increase.
Yeah.
Because like people got on board with the 30 series because that jump between the 20 series to the 30 or even the 10K series um to the 30K was or the 3K was massive, you know?
Yeah.
Like like when they dropped the 2K series like the 2080s, the performance was okay compared to the, 18 the 1080, but like it wasn't worth the price tag that they dropped on it initially. Like it was a massive increase, like $200 $300 compared to what people were used to with like the 980s and the 1080s. So
Hmm. What did
really have to justify like, hey, this performance is going to be insane compared to what you have now.
Yeah. What did the 2080 MSRP at launch?
I'm not 100% sure. I think the
it
28. I know the 2080 Ti was like $1,500.
so if this is correct, it was the GeForce RTX 2080 as of September 2018 was $700. Which I feel like that's accurate.
Roughly, yeah. But you got
Um
to think like the 2080 at MSRP was, or the 1080 at MSRP when they came out was like 550, 600, I think. Something like,
mhm.
or no, it was like 450 to 550, something like that.
Yeah.
So like that was in a lot of people's eyes, that's a dramatic amount of that. That is a lot of money for a
Yeah.
graphics card.
Yeah.
You know, like in 2015, you could have built a PC for $800 and it'd be like top of the line.
Yeah.
And now like that's how much graphics cards cost.
Yeah. Well, I built my first PC in 2015 for $1,200. I mean, then that's the cost of the high end 20 or of the high end 4080.
Hmm?
And
Yeah, it's insane.
yeah. And I think when I say $1,200, I mean that was case, power supply, GPU, CPU, RAM, monitors, keyboard and mouse.
The works.
Yeah, the works. Yeah. It's they're pretty big jumps. NVIDIA is going to have to really prove to consumers that the price to performance is worth that.
And then on top of that, just losing EVGA as a partner,
Yeah.
which is like their core. They would sell the cores for EVGA to put their own like heat sinks and stuff on. A lot of the times, like drastically increasing the performance due to like overclocking, uh, versus the Founders Editions cards being not as high in performance with cooling. So like
Mhm.
they're that's a big hit in terms of like um sales, because like they had that tried and true EVGA that like people would skip the Founders Edition to get EVGA cards. So it's gonna be hard for Nvidia this year, I think.
Yeah. Mendacii, what do you think?
I think that I'm probably gonna be stuck with my 1080 for quite some time, and it's not even mine. So I kind of wonder how much we're just gonna have to keep thriving in secondary and even tertiary markets while all of this continues. I'm also pretty upset considering, like there was all of this talk from 2020 to, now 2 years later, and just the market talk always saying like it's gonna go down, things are gonna get better, blah blah blah. And it's just like, no, it actually seems like it's either going to stay this way or get worse. I don't know. It's hard to keep up, you know? It's hard to stay in a hobby when it demands so much for one fucking part. And like you guys had mentioned before, like PS5s went up in cost in like several different countries. It's like we're probably not going to see a decrease in any next gen consoles anytime soon either. So it's like there's people that have been living in the current gen, since release, and like they've been slowly trickling in, but there's so many more that are still like running things that are, circa like Xbox One, PS4, PS4 Pro, and like pretty much the same in terms of PC styles. So I don't know. It sucks. Like at some point we're gonna come to a head where most of the games that are coming out require much more powerful rigs, like as a base, and who's gonna be able to afford to continue it? It's no good. It's just where we've been heading economically for some time, and it's depressing.
I do have to say I'm really excited to see what AMD brings out this October for their GPUs.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where like we can't discount anyone making any attempt at trying to be competitive in the market. Hopefully, someone brings something that's at least relatively consumer friendly.
Yeah. Well, and of course there's always Intel, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
No, I like, especially with AMD's like recent announcement of their AM5 that just went on the market. Um, like they've made some massive improvements to their even creating a new socket, new AM5 socket. So like I think AMD's like stepping up to the plate yet again, and hopefully like the GPUs that they bring out are actually going to be price conscientious. Like AMD's usual goal is to be price conscientious with consumers in mind. So it's just something that it may be the possible leap. If the price is going to be ever increasing with Nvidia, like I'm gonna we're gonna see more and more people go to AMD.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Any other opinions? I'm gonna reserve any opinions on the hardware until I see some trusted reviewers get their hands on it and actually get an idea for the price, the performance. Um, of course, any of our viewers, let us know what you think in Twitch, or you guys can let us know in the comments on YouTube. Any other thoughts, opinions you guys wanted to share on those?
No, just like you, I think that you said it most professionally and wisely, that you're gonna withhold judgment until you see some like consumer reports kind of coming in, as well as, like we have dozens and dozens of fine YouTubers that do really nice in-depth reviews and everything like that. Once the general public gets their hands on them and they can start talking about them, I mean, like that's when it's going to come down to brass tacks for sure. Just yeah, someone make me not sad. Someone say something funny or happy. Literally anything.
I just gotta wait for PC Jesus to get his hands on stuff.
Yeah,
Mm,
PC
Old
Jesus.
gamer, old good old Steve Burke with Gamers Nexus.
yeah,
Games Nexus.
I think Linus Tech Tips is like testing lab should probably be equipped to test this when it comes out, which will be interesting to see how their testing lab compares to Gamers Nexus. That's something I'm interested to see, like what the difference between the two testing labs will be fun with this particular series of cards. But of course,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
let us know in the chat or in YouTube comments, especially if
I,
you
I
think the price is too high.
I feel like we should bring in Jay's 2 cents as 2 cents
Do
on
they
this.
Yes.
do they have a big testing lab?
I mean, it's not as big as Linus, but I mean, Jay's very knowledgeable
Oh yeah,
in
no, not discounting that.
yeah.
Hardware Unboxed. Although Hardware Unboxed might actually not get the get the
Oh yeah,
review
probably
sample.
not. No, they'll fight tooth and nail. Hardware Canucks,
Yep.
they're pretty knowledgeable as well. So there's a lot of content creators on YouTube that are, once they get their hands on this, they're gonna bring out good, honest reviews.
Yeah.
And actually stress test the GPUs to their max. So
Yeah. Anything else on this, guys?
Nope.
Arr.
You got
I
everything from me.
I got everything from you.
Yeah, I'm empty, man.
Running on empty.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. I think that's gonna be it for the show. It for the show. Sorry, voice crack.
Nice and tight.
Nice and
tight.
toy.
Toy like a toy guy.
Green.
Like a toy gun.
What's coming up on your show? What's coming up on your channel? What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm still testing like the internet, like testing the waters. I've been doing like some bandwidth tests.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna take some time to study. I've been actually trying to find some remote jobs because like content creation isn't like overly panning out, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I'm actually gonna study for a PHR certification, which is a human resources certification, because that would help in finding a job easier on, especially in like the remote HR field. Um, there's still gonna be content coming, like especially like TikTok, YouTube, stuff like that when I can make it. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get back to streaming this week. We'll see. I just don't know yet. I'm trying to get comfortable in this new area and like pick out a good time for it and stuff like that. So we shall see. But you can catch it all twitch.tv/Mr. Greenlee. Check me out on Twitter. Any news that I have, I'll post on there. But yeah.
Awesome.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Danny
Mendacii.
K's basement.
I don't have a basement. Mendacii.
Danny K's closet. Sorry. My bad. You had a really big closet, so I mistook it for a basement. Sorry.
Mendacii, what's coming up with you?
Fucking depressed and tired as fuck. But I'm still trying to do stuff. You're mainly gonna see me doing things that aren't my Twitch channel, which honestly I'm thinking I might actually try and see what YouTube is all about. So, stay tuned. Follow my Twitter at only Mendacii. There you'll also see when my university, Upper Iowa University, is going live with their Rocket League tournaments, as I am now a collegiate commentator for my university. So yeah, if you want to see some sick competitive games and hear more of my voice, as I stumble around telling you what's cool about Rocket League, you can do that. Otherwise, I'm with these two chuckle fucks and a few of our other friends on V Arcana, which I believe episode 4, right? That's coming.
Not this weekend. We actually won't have a new episode coming for a little while. Session 2, I think we agreed on the 8th of October, but I'm not
Yes.
100% sure.
I think so. We'll have to double check. But if you love D&D and you haven't heard about our D&D show, you can check it out on the Next to Nothing Network YouTube channel. There are 4 episodes. Sorry, yeah, isn't there 4 counting the 0?
Yeah, so we
Counting
have
session 0, yeah.
counting session 0.
Yeah.
There's just a playlist. Watch the playlist.
Yeah,
Check
watch
out
the
the
playlist, man. So yeah, if you love anime, if you love D&D, we bring all the energy and it's super fun and I can't wait to jump back into that. But yeah, I mean, I post funny shit on Twitter. So
we are the best isekai on the market right now.
That is
that's
true.
At me.
Yeah.
Fuck
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Sword Art Online.
For real, you should check it out though. That's all I have.
Coming up with me, Thursday night I'm playing some Hunt Showdown at 7 p.m. Central Time. Friday I was gonna play some Gundam, but I think we have a collab that we're doing, so I'll have to maybe change it around. Saturday, Gundam Evolution at 2 p.m. Come join me, 2 p.m. Central Time. That's my stream schedule. Of course, you guys can always keep up with me on Twitter. If you want to see my shit posts, it's at Danie, DANIECAE. And that's pretty much the only other place I am active right now because I am busy as hell. And that's going to wrap up the show. Thanks for watching and listening. Your time with us is always appreciated, but of course, we're not just interested in your time and attention. We are also interested in your thoughts. So let us know your thoughts about anything that we talked about or the answer to the question of the week this week, which is, what is your main secret ingredient when you cook? Let us know your thoughts on YouTube in the comment section or tweet at us. Green, hit him with that Twitter.
That sweet
Tweeter.
tweet is at Next to Nothing PC.
And of course, if you missed any part of the show or would just want to take us on the go, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. If you want to catch us live, you can do that every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, and ring that bell. That helps us out a ton on YouTube. And until next week, stay safe, especially if you're in Florida. Stay healthy and keep fighting the good fights. And we'll talk to you again next week. Goodbye!
Nico.